Alright guys, welcome back to another edition of Lawyer to Up. I am your host Jared Moore as usual, and tonight we're going to be checking out some of the legal updates from things that are happening in tribal court. If you guys have any questions, just pop them into the chat there and I'll try to answer them the best that I can, me not being a lawyer. Thank God. Alright, so to start off with tonight, we're going to talk about some new news. Let me pop up this story here. Councilman pleads no contest to assault and battery in public intox. This is Representative Robert Hufft. This incident happened on July 31st, 2022 at the Hard Rock Casino. Hufft pleaded no contest to both charges as part of a plea agreement on June 13th of this year. He received 90 days unsupervised probation, paid a $250 fine, and was ordered to write an apology letter to the victim. We contacted Representative Hufft to obtain a statement about what happened, and this is the statement that he issued to us. Quote, "The incident happened a year ago, and on that particular evening, I had a few drinks and acted poorly and out of character. For that, I am deeply sorry to my constituents and my family. At the advice of my attorney, I was counseled not to speak about the incident while it was an ongoing matter. It has been resolved through a deferment of the misdemeanor charges that will be expunged from my record on September 12, 2023 upon good behavior. Since the event, I voluntarily entered a counseling program which has made a positive impact on my life. I can confidently say I've learned from my mistake. I take pride in serving the people of my district and all districts, and I will continue to serve them to the best of my ability." And just so you guys know, Representative Hufft is, it says here he's running for re-election as the incumbent candidate for the National Council for Seat A, Tulsa District. He is running unopposed. So basically, that means that there's not going to be a race. He's not really running. He's just going to be re-upped for a second term. So, because nobody else filed. So that happened. Now, you guys may be saying, why didn't you guys cover this earlier? Because that happened way back last year. And I'm going to talk about that, but I'm going to do that a little bit later in the program because I wanted to give you guys an update on Travis Scott's case. So, if you guys have been following the legal stuff, Travis Scott was charged with a felony of false swearing and 4 misdemeanor charges of conflict of interest for a tribal officer. He had it was August 1st court date, which I tried to attend, but before court started, I was removed and told that the judge had said there could be no media at this hearing. I wasn't really surprised about that, but because what I think is going to happen in this case and what has apparently happened in this case is that they're going to drop that felony charge because it would be very hard to prove. And I'm going to go into detail on that. But first, let's go into the court system's records and see what actually has happened here, because there's been some interesting developments that happened just today, coincidentally. So let me pop this up. So if you go to the creekdistrictcourt.com, as you see here at the top of the screen, you can go to the court calendar and you see this is the record system that the Creek Nation District Court has. It's full court enterprise. This is going to come back into the program a little bit later, and I will explain something, because the Cherokee Nation uses this same system, but their records are a little different. Let me get back on Travis Scott's case here. So we're going to do searches, case searches, and by party. And then we're going to put in Scott Travis. Okay, so normally, or previously when you had done this, you would see here that there would only be one criminal case, and it was this CF 2022-0165, CF standing for criminal felony, right? And if you click on that, this is the case that we've been following, right? And you can see here all of the stuff that's happened here all the way up until July, when there was a motion to quash subpoena and they were going to do proposed jury instructions. Now, You're like, why are you showing me this, Jared? We've seen this before. Okay, but let's go back. We searched Travis Scott. Look, there's a new case here, a CM 2023-067. So if we click on that and we look at the charge summary, these are the misdemeanors that he was charged with, but there's no felony. Okay, let me go back again just so you guys can see. When we go to CF 2022-0165 and we look at the charge summary, you'll see felony, false swearing, and then 4 misdemeanor conflict of interest here, right? And if we go back to the party search and we click the other case that just was posted, it's the same thing without the felony. So it looks to me what they're going to do here is get rid of this criminal felony case somehow, and they're going to go with this criminal misdemeanor case and have the trial there. Let me look and see if there's a trial date here. There's nothing listed for this, but the filing date you can see up here is 8/8/2023. If you guys can see that, let me know if I need. Let me make it a little bit bigger. So this was just filed today, and the charge summary or the misdemeanors. Let's look at the ROA. All that's been filed is a criminal complaint and information. So what it looks like they've done here is they've refiled his charges without the felony. So the reason I mention that is because this is going to reset the process and probably have a whole new trial date. The previous case, which had the felony in it, right? This felony false swearing was going to be very difficult to prove because basically what they're saying is, I think the argument they were going to make there is that Travis, when he took his oath of office, was lying after he got reelected, which happened after these supposed misdemeanors happened. So I think that's why they're dropping the felony. The rest of these cases here are misdemeanors. These misdemeanors will also be very difficult to prove because what this misdemeanor conflict of interest by tribal official is, let me pop myself back up, is they're saying that tribal officers shouldn't do business with the nation, and that's a conflict of interest. That's what that misdemeanor is. I think it's like a $200 fine or something like that. It's a fine. So the problem with Travis's case is the monies that they are accusing him of taking were signed off by the council and Principal Chief Floyd, who was the chief at that time. So that's the problem with those misdemeanors is they're going to have a hard time convicting Travis of something when the actual people who signed off for him to get the money were the council and the chief, and they went through a whole process of reviewing these transactions and they said they were okay. So that's enough about Scott's case. The only thing is I can't tell you guys when the next hearing is. If you look here, let's see here. On his previous charges, the next appearance has already happened. This is the case right here. If you see here, next appearance 8/01/2023, 11:30 a.m. That is the hearing that I got thrown out of. So I don't know what happened there. And then if we go back to party search and we look at the other case that just got filed today, that is just the misdemeanors, right? And we look at to see if there's an upcoming hearing, there's nothing listed. So it looks like they haven't set a hearing date for the misdemeanors. Now this could also be stuff that the court is doing actually I didn't pop that up. Let me pop that up. You can see here that this is the misdemeanor case, guys, and there's no listed next hearing. So I think this could also be part of a plea deal or something like that. Again, if you guys want to ask me any questions, pop them in there. Okay, so we've covered those two things. Now, while I've got the Creek Nation's district court records up, I wanted to show you guys something that I found that was interesting. When I was talking about Representative Hufft's case, I was saying you guys were thinking, why didn't we cover this, right, when it was happening? Well, that was my fault. I didn't know that the Cherokee Nation's district court would hear cases that happened in Cherokee Nation. So Representative Huff's thing happened at the Hard Rock, so he was in Cherokee District Court, and the Cherokee Nation, interestingly, has their own online records system. Let's take a look at it. So if you go to CherokeeCourts.org/district court, you can go down here and you see here there's this tab, Documents. Oh, let me bring that full screen. So you see this tab here, Documents. You click on that, this page comes up, and you can go, let's see, where did I go to get that? Cherokee Nation District Court records here. Now watch what happens. It's full court. So the Cherokee Nation is using the exact same computer system that the Creek Nation is using, but here's an interesting wrinkle. I'm going to log in and I'm going to do a search, and I'm going to do the same thing by party, and this time I'm going to do Hufft Robert. Let me make this a little bit bigger so you guys can see. Okay, we search, and that brings up the case we're discussing with Mr. Hufft. So we click it. So if we go down here though, you can do document management in theirs, and this is the interesting part. This is the same software, Full Court Enterprise, same deal. They have a button on theirs, says View, and if you touch it, you download it, and you can look at the documents. On the Creek Nations, there is no document tab, and there's nowhere for you to download or view any of these filings. You see, no view button here. Why? That's my question. Why does it, if the software allows you to do it, why isn't the Creek Nation doing it? You guys can answer me that question because I don't know the answer. Now, normally in this situation, I would say to you guys that are citizens that are watching this program, you need to contact your representative if you want to change how these court records are being shown on here so that we can do what the Cherokee Nation is doing, so you can look up stuff and you can view the court records, which are public documents. The problem is the judicial branch of the government is separate from the legislature and the executive branch. The judges are nominated by chief and confirmed by the council. We currently have the chief justice of the district court is Roger Wiley. He used to be in the AG's office, and I don't think he's up for reconfirmation. So I don't know who exactly to tell you guys. You could contact your legislature, your representative, and say, hey, we want to see these documents. The next person you confirm needs to tell you that they're going to make that happen. And you could contact chief and you could say the same thing. We want you to tell the court to make the documents available, because this is a big difference, but the software is the same. So I don't understand why we could pay a company to do this. It means that our district court had to have told this Full Court Enterprise company that we don't want that button. We don't want them to be able to see the documents, and that's a bit of a problem. Let me take a look at the chat here. Regarding the Hooper case in Tulsa, the city says it's still going to enforce its ordinances against everyone regardless of tribal status. Okay, I'm glad you mentioned that, T.Y. Pearl, because the last thing on my list here is some disambiguation around Hooper. There's been some stories that kind of ran right when the statement was issued by the Supreme Court, right before the deadline of the stay. I'm going to try to clear up some stuff because I feel like some people read everything and didn't really understand it. But so what happened here is, if we go back in time, the 10th Circuit issued a decision on this Hooper case, right? And at the time, you guys may remember from a previous Lawyered Up, T.Y. Pearl had asked me about remanding. What is the remanding, right? So the 10th Circuit had remanded this case back to the district court, but the district court's not allowed, the judge isn't allowed to consider the Curtis Act, right? So remanded just means that the court's got to hear it again, okay? So Justice Gorsuch issued a stay until August the 4th at 5 p.m. And the city of Tulsa, GT Bynum, they were saying, we're going to try to get cert on this case. Then on the 4th, Justice Kavanaugh issued a statement coming from all the members of the court saying, okay, guys, so what the 10th Circuit did was they remanded that decision back to the district court. We really need to wait until that court finishes hearing the case, and then this case can make the normal progression up to the Supreme Court if they pursue it to that level. We can't take up cert on something that's still in the district court. You see what I mean? There was kind of a misunderstanding there, and he's kind of calling out Gorsuch to say, hey, we can't put a stay on something. Let the district court go ahead and hear whatever they're hearing. And if you remember in the previous live wire where we were having that discussion, that's one of the things I was saying is the city of Tulsa could still argue this case in the district court using some other thing besides the Curtis Act, whatever that would be. I don't know. But the case is still in that district court. We haven't seen a decision come out of there to go up the food chain. Now, this whole, debacle, I don't want to use that word, but that's kind of what it is, with the stay and then the statement that's basically contradicting the stay, doesn't mean that the Supreme Court won't eventually grant this case cert. It's a possibility that could happen. And it also doesn't say that Tulsa could win their case in district court using some other legal argument besides the Curtis Act. But we'll have to wait and see what that's going to be. Let's see here. Tulsa Creek Indian Community Candidate Forum is coming up on Saturday, August 19th, 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. Will Mvskoke Media be covering it? Let's see. That is the 19th. I don't know if we've going to have somebody there or not. I've actually been out of the office for a couple of days, and I'm just coming back in to do this TY Parole, but I'll check on that and see if we're going to have somebody there to cover it. I imagine we probably will have somebody there, but I can't guarantee it. I can give you guys an update on who's signed up for our Meet the Candidate videos where you guys can ask them questions. We've got Tim Goodvoice signed up for 6 p.m. on this Friday, the 11th. We've got Principal Chief Hill on the 15th at 6 p.m. We've got Robin Whitecloud. She's on the 16th at 6 p.m. And we have Dodie Barnett on the 17th at 7 p.m. I'm also talking to Sandra Golden, who's running for second chief, she's currently on the council, and we're trying to find a day for her to do it. She has openings the 18th and after, so once I get her scheduled, she'll be on. Please cover and publicize all the community forums. We're going to try to do that as best we can, and if you guys want to, I was kind of planning on we will and have candidates that don't want to participate in the video forum. What I might do is, if we get to a certain stage, just do a video where we talk about the things that happened in the community forums. The problems with the community forums is we got to get permission to go there and film. The people who put on the community forums have the right to say, you guys can't come in here and film because it's not really government property. And even with that, we've never been denied, but it is a possibility. So election dates. Okay, we can do that. Let's take a look at the election dates here, guys. And if you want to check it out yourself, this is where you would go to do it. Creek Nation Election Board. So Mvskoke Creek Nation Election Board. You Google it. It's the first thing. You go to their page. On their page, let me pop this up for you guys. On their page, they have the primary dates and deadlines. These are the primary dates and deadlines. July 13th, we've already done that. July 17th, 18th, we've done that. August 17th, first day absentee ballots are mailed to voters. So that is the first day. After that, absentee ballots should be coming to you. August 23rd is the last day to request an absentee ballot for the primary. So if you want to get an absentee ballot for the primary, you need to request it before August 23rd. That is the last day to do it. September 5th is the last day to register to vote for the primary. September 11th and 15th is the signature examination for returned absentee ballots. September 13th and 14th is early voting, and September 16th is the primary. So, can you talk about the proposed reforms to the Indian Arts and Crafts Act, please? Is that going through the council, T.Y. Pro? Do you know what the bill number is on it? Because I haven't seen that. We are going to be publishing some coverage on the restructuring of the executive branch, and you can keep an eye on our website for that whenever we get done actually writing it. Okay, so with all those updates being done, do you guys have any more questions? I will look into this Indian Arts and Crafts Act and see what I can find on it, T.Y. Pearl, and maybe we can talk about that on the next Lawyered Up. Tomorrow at 6 p.m., we're going to be doing a live wire about a art show put on by, or an art exhibit put on in Santa Fe by Carly Treese. You may remember her from a story we did a while back on an art show that was at a gallery in downtown Tulsa that was put on in conjunction with TU. No federal Friedman case. Where is a Friedman case at? Well, before I get out of here, we'll just go look, guys. Let's go here. The Friedman case. Oh, let me pop that up for you. Sorry, keep forgetting. So the Friedman case is Grayson, Rhonda. Boom. There it is. Let's see what's going on. There is no hearing coming up for this. This hearing, the trial has already ended. On the ROA, you can see no new stuff there. Everything is old. Amended transcript hearing. Let's see, is there a judgment or an order? No. Case status, pending. So we don't got nothing on that. Let's see. You guys got any other legal questions you have or cases that you want me to check on? I can do it right now with what we have. I am going to start checking the Cherokee Nation District Court full court. In addition to ours, I periodically check for all of the councilmen's names to see if there's anything happening with that stuff. T.Y. Pearl's asking me about something Mr. Solomon Simmons did. Did he pay his debts? I don't know what the status of that case is. They might have settled out of court. That's generally what they do in those situations. But yes, not a good look for Mr. Solomon Simmons. Yes, he and for everybody who doesn't know, there was a civil lawsuit between DeMario and his partners and his former law firm about some expenditures on the company credit card that happened long after he had left the firm and so on and so forth. I need to check on that and we can see what it's going on. It's not really related to the Native American side of things because, he's just Mr. Solomon Simmons is the lawyer for the Rhonda Grayson in the Friedman case. With that being said, I think that's it. You guys know everything that's coming up in the future. One more thing that I didn't mention. On the 14th at 6 p.m., we're going to have a live wire about some National Endowment for the Arts grants, right? The National Endowment for the Arts recently announced a bunch of $30,000 grants that people can apply for to conduct research into the boarding schools. And we're going to have a representative from that program, from the National Endowment for the Arts, to talk about what these grants are to do and how you can apply for them and all of that great stuff for you guys to check it out. What about the embezzlement at Tulsa schools? I don't have any information on that. And, I got to keep a focus, TY, on Native American stuff in tribal court. I haven't seen anything in tribal court on that. So, but with that being said, I'm pretty much tapped out. We're at 7:24. I don't know when we're going to have another lawyered up. I'm assuming that in the middle of this month, the Scott case is going to have a hearing in that new filing that doesn't have the felony in it. And when that happens, I'm going to try to go to that. If I get thrown out of court again, I will live stream, or I'll do another lawyered up and try to give you guys an update. But if I don't get thrown out of court, I'm just going to report on everything that happens in the case. As soon as the Friedman thing drops, there'll be a lawyered up on it. If you guys don't want to have to deal with this long program and you just want to get the legal updates, we're still publishing stuff just directly on our website. So if you go to our website, you can see all of the individual legal stories posted there first. With that being said, I want to thank you guys, Mado, for tuning in tonight, and I will see you guys next time. Chihicha, please.